Are you thinking about buying a home here in Lexington, Kentucky, but you're hearing words like radon, sewer scope, sump pump, or termite damage? And all of a sudden you're like, am I in over my head here? If I'm speaking to your soul right now, then fear not, because today we are breaking down the 10 biggest mistakes I see buyers make in the bluegrass so you can avoid them and get the home that you've been dreaming of without expensive surprises after closing. Let's dig in. Mistake number 1 is skipping inspections. This is not 2021, and we do not need to waive inspections for our offer to get accepted. And it's absolutely worth it to hire a trained professional to spend hours dissecting every bit of the home so you really understand what you're buying. And it'll give you the opportunity to learn about the home systems, the age, condition, and very importantly, the projected lifespan. Skipping this step means assuming a ton of unnecessary risk. So unless you have the budget and tolerance for thousands and thousands of dollars in repairs, never waive inspections in Lexington, period. Mistake number 2, not getting the right inspections. If I were buying a house, here are the inspections that I would personally get. A general home inspection, about $500. This is where a licensed home inspector documents the condition of your home from top to bottom, inside and out. I'm talking roof and attic, the interior and the guts, so plumbing, electrical, windows, doors, ceilings, walls, flooring, appliances, plus the structure in the foundation, the crawl space, the basement. You get the picture. These reports pack in so much amazing information and help identify any areas we might want to dig deeper into. Next, radon, roughly $170. So radon is a colorless, odorless gas and is the second leading cause of lung cancer right after smoking, with 21,000 lung cancer deaths in the US each year. Lexington and the surrounding areas have high concentrations of radon as compared to many parts of the US due to the soil composition. And contrary to popular belief, radon can enter your home regardless of your foundation type. Whether you have a crawl space, basement, on a slab, it does not matter. Next, termite inspection, just $60. Kentucky is termite country, and these little guys are not harmless. They can cause thousands upon thousands in hidden structural damage if they chomp away at the house for years without being treated. Septic or sewer scope, both run around $350. And I say or because the home that you're looking to buy will either have a septic tank or it'll be on public sewer. Either way, these systems are not inspected during the general home inspection, and if the systems fail, they could cost an outrageous amount of money. And mold and air quality tests, which are $369. So this one is the newest inspection on my recommendations list because of the repeated issues I've seen throughout the industry within the Lexington area. Moisture issues can lead to mold growing in places you can't even see, like behind cabinets, behind the drywall, inside the insulation. And mold affects your health as exposure can cause allergic reactions, respiratory issues, and a weakened immune system. And it can affect your wallet because remediation can cost a ton of money if it requires ripping out those cabinets or opening up the walls to mitigate. Outside of those inspections I just listed, there are other inspections to strongly consider depending on the specific home type you're buying, but those I listed are my normal go-tos. If you're feeling like, okay, now I'm actually more overwhelmed, then I'm happy to go over this with you one-on-one. My name is Shelby Johnson. I'm an Army veteran turned real estate agent, and I help people relocate, buy, and sell here in the bluegrass every single week. So if you want a local expert helping you avoid landmines, I have got you. Reach out, my info is below. Mistake number 3 is asking for repairs instead of seller credits. Okay, it is super tempting to ask the seller to do repairs for you because it feels easier, right? It's off your plate, it's done before moving in, boom, boom. But here's the problem. If sellers agree, they're probably going to get it done as cheap as possible, hiring whichever vendor, whether or not they're qualified, and doing anything just to check the block. So a different play to consider is asking the seller for a credit instead of repairs. That means the seller gives you money, and then you are in control of who does the repair, the materials they use, and the quality of the finished product. But if you really want the seller to do those repairs on your behalf, at least consider this. Specify in the repair request exactly who you want to do the repairs, by name ideally, and if nothing else, specify that they must be licensed and qualified. Mistake number 4, getting emotional about the results. Inspections are an emotional roller coaster. You go from falling in love with a house and then the inspector shows up and suddenly it feels like everything is broken and falling apart. So it's really easy to spiral. But here's the truth. No home is perfect, not even new construction homes, and it's the inspector's job to find every little detail that might be wrong with the home so you know what you're getting into. A big report does not mean that the home is a disaster. It means the inspector did really thorough work. So the key is to focus on the important stuff, safety issues, big ticket items, or anything that could cause more damage into the future. For example, major issues with the roof or HVAC, foundation concerns, or anything involving moisture. This is not the time to freak out about missing doorstops, burnt out light bulbs, or minor cracks in the driveway. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, take a step back, talk to your real estate agent, talk to the inspector, and prioritize what actually matters so you can make a logical decision as to whether or not this is still the home for you. Mistake number 5, not getting quotes on repairs. If we're going to ask the seller for a repair concession or a credit, we should not be pulling that number out of thin air with zero evidence to back it up. So if the seller thinks that you made it up, they'll be quick to push it off or deny the request entirely. And if your made up number is wrong, you'll literally be paying for the difference down the road. Instead, get legitimate estimates for the bigger issues the home inspector revealed and share them along with your request to the seller to make your request far more credible. And highly recommend getting multiple quotes unless you've already worked with specific vendors in the past and you know that their numbers are fair and accurate. If you don't know any vendors, this is where your agent should be helping you out. And if they don't know any vendors, that's a red flag. Mistake number 6. Getting the cheapest inspectors. Everyone loves saving money, but the home inspection is not the place to bargain hunt. In Central Kentucky, a solid home inspection typically costs $500 to $700 depending on the home size and age. And sure, you can save $100 by going with the cheapest option, but if they miss a $10,000 problem, that deal disappears pretty fast. Number 7, not researching your inspectors. So when researching, here's what to focus on. Experience. Not the time to take the chance on the new guy. I would recommend 5 years full-time experience on the job minimum. Service traits. You want thorough, detail-oriented, knowledgeable, and someone with the ability to clearly explain findings. Also recommend asking for an example of a previous report they've done. It's 2025 and these reports should be color-coded. They should include pictures and videos and be clearly organized by the level of concern. And finally, pay attention to reputation. Read reviews. And I'm not just talking about the first few, and make sure to skip any that sound generic. If the inspector does not have a website and Google reviews, that alone is a red flag. Speaking of reviews, you should also pay attention to these when choosing a real estate agent. And if you want to read my reviews, search 5 Pillars Team Kentucky on Google and check them out. Mistake number 8, not going to the inspection. So you don't need to hover over your inspector for 3 hours. That just distracts them, but skipping the inspection entirely is also a huge mistake. Recommend meeting the inspector at the property for the last 30 to 45 minutes and have them walk you through key findings, explain what's serious and what's normal, and teach you things that you should know about how the house works. This is your chance to learn from an expert who works for you. Even minor issues should matter to you because soon everything in that place will be your responsibility. So ask questions, take notes, and soak it in. And if you can't make it, your agent better be there on your behalf. And really, I feel strongly that agents should be there whether you're there or not. Mistake number 9, failing to re-inspect seller repairs. So if you do have the seller handle repairs instead of just getting that credit we talked about, make sure to verify everything they did before closing. Recommend scheduling a walkthrough as soon as they say the work's done. Ideally, at least a week before closing, so if there are any issues, there's time to fix them. At this time, bring your home inspection report, bring the agreed upon repair list, and test everything. Review the paid invoices the seller provided, and if you're extra cautious, call the vendors and verify with them directly. And if you do not know what to look for when verifying repairs, you can always hire your inspector to go back back for what's called a re-inspection. The goal is no unhappy or costly surprises when it's too late. And mistake number 10, backing out repeatedly. So if a home has serious issues and the seller won't work with you, walking away is 100% the right move. But if this keeps happening, deal after deal, falling apart post-inspection, it's time to pause and reassess. Ask yourself, are my expectations realistic? Am I targeting the right homes? Is my agent helping me identify red flags before going under contract? And am I actually ready for home ownership? Because each canceled deal costs you time, money, and energy. And if you're on deal number 4 and ready to walk away again, it's time to pause and reset. Speaking of deals that may cost you money, if you haven't yet, make sure to check out my video where I break down which homes to never buy in the Lexington, Kentucky area. Thanks for watching. See you next time.